How's it going, guys? Well, the Packers continue to be very quiet in this year's free agency, which makes a lot of sense, especially with our cap situation. But they are making very small moves and seem to be focusing on the special team side of the ball. And to start off, we did unfortunately lose Chris Barnes, inside linebacker, to the Arizona Cardinals, where he signed a one-year contract. Chris Barnes was a pretty good special teams player for us, and also a depth piece, especially with the emergence of Devondre Campbell and the rookie drafted Quay Walker. So that bumped him down to 3 and pretty much played alongside Isaiah McDuffie, who was the 4th inside linebacker for us. And with him not being tenured to an RFA tender, they ended up letting him test free agency, and he got signed by the Arizona Cardinals. But we did re-sign Eric Wilson, and it looks like both of these moves kind of are tied together because, like I said, we have Quay Walker and Devondre Campbell. Then you have Isaiah McDuffie, who did play well for us. So it's 3 linebackers, and I would leave pretty much one more, and that would be Eric Wilson. Especially with Eric Wilson and Isaiah McDuffie being some of our best special teams players, especially when trying to go down the field and tackle them. They're very, very good on special teams, a lot better than Chris Barnes. So, unfortunately, it seems like Chris Barnes was just a casualty because we couldn't use him on defense, especially if he'd end up being the 4th or 5th linebacker. And he just didn't really have a spot on special teams, especially with Isaiah McDuffie and Eric Wilson coming back. So, unfortunately, it seemed like he was the odd man out. And it sucks because when Chris Barnes was on the field, he laid the hammer. Like, he definitely imposed his will on players, and I enjoyed watching him come onto the field and tackle people. So it's slightly unfortunate. I did like Chris Barnes, but I do get it in a business sense and what his role could have been with this team. Now, another free agency move. Unfortunately, Jaron Reed did go back to Seattle. He signed a pretty decently large contract for him to where I could see why we didn't even try to attempt to probably keep him or match it. And it was a 2-year contract for $9 million, so $4.5 million per year. So it makes sense why we didn't even go to assign him. Then Dean Lowry, he is officially gone. I'm okay with this. He went to the Vikings. Don't know what it is with the NFC North always signing our people, but he's now a Viking. 2 years, $8.5 million contract. Then we have Matthew Orzech. He is a long snapper, once again, specializing and focusing on the special team side. He signed for a 3-year contract worth $3.675 million. And also, we re-signed Justin Hollins, outside linebacker, 1 year, $1.28 million contract, which is a nice cheap deal for a pretty decent player, especially in the rotation. Can also help, especially with Rashawn Gary still being out with that ACL injury and most likely won't be back at the beginning of the season. So this is a pretty good 1-year deal for us to help kind of facilitate till Rashawn Gary gets healthy and back into a groove. And he might not be 100% this year as well, because we saw the effects of that with Elton Jenkins and Robert Tonyan to them not being at full capacity. Lastly, there were a few players that have still yet to re-sign and haven't re-signed with other teams and are still in the market. The big one, Adrian Amos, I would have loved him back. I just don't see it happening. There are reports that he went over to Baltimore and had a visit with them. Nothing official on a contract, but he is visiting other teams. I don't feel like he's going to come back, which is going to hurt because, well, we just have no safeties. But he might cost too much, especially with what we're trying to do and keeping our cap salary so high because of the inevitable Aaron Rodgers trade. So I just don't see us signing him, especially if he asks for like $5-6 million over a year. So unfortunately, Adrian Amos probably won't be making his way back. Next up, we have Randall Cobb. He's going to go to the Jets. Moving on. Mason Crosby, still a free agent. We don't have a kicker that replaced him. At the beginning of the offseason, Gutekunst pretty much stated that he's going to have Mason Crosby back. I'm not sure what the holdup is on that. We might be waiting on the whole Aaron Rodgers trade situation to fully settle so we know our cap situation and what type of contract we would like to offer him. So his re-sign might be pending Aaron Rodgers trade, so we have a full idea of where our cap room is. So then we have Mercedes Lewis. I don't think he's going to come back as well. I feel like he's going to follow Aaron Rodgers. He stated he loves playing with Rodgers. He is on the extreme tail end of his career, and I feel like he's going to join Aaron Rodgers to go on a Super Bowl run when he officially joins the Jets. And that's about all that's been happening for us in free agency. We've lost a couple players. We've kept some key players, especially on the special team side once again. That has been a very big focus, which makes sense, especially with Rich Bisaccia staying with us and being assistant head coach. So a lot of that makes sense. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.